So I'm still trying to wrap my head around all of this NFT business, especially now more so than ever with these kind of revolutionary concepts that surround the metaverse in itself. These JPEG files are also known as NFTs, which you can buy over on websites like OpenSea for just a fraction of an Ethereum, right the way up to 75 Ethereum and beyond, where we're talking about price tags upwards of $250,000. But the question is, despite the fact that there is a hell of a lot of market value surrounding the NFT space, does it actually make them a good investment? And if they are a good investment, well, which ones should be the ones in which we're all investing into? It's certainly not anything like stock investing where you can actually look into a company and you can look into their profitability trends, you can look into valuation metrics and financial ratios in order to help inform your investment decisions. And along with that, you get some kind of physical ownership in the business in which you're investing into. Whereas with NFTs, on the other hand, the question which I'm kind of asking myself is, well, what is the kind of defined criteria, if you like, that says that an NFT is a good investment or not? Is it just a matter of investing into the NFT artists in which you like? Is it investing into an NFT project that you can relate to somehow? Or perhaps it's investing into an NFT which has been most recently released by one of your favorite big brands? Or perhaps it's just investing into the latest influencer-backed NFT project, which is probably a pump and dump scheme, like Jake Paul's stick dick stupid pointless NFT or whatever he's just been marketing. From, I guess, my very amateur beginner knowledge on all of this NFT investing stuff, from an outsider's point of view who's more of a traditional stock investor, there doesn't exactly seem like a robust investing framework that surrounds that of NFTs. Instead, it more just seems like a bit of a hunch as a potential long-term prospect that an NFT of some sort could just be valued more in the future, I guess based on a little bit of speculation around it. And from all of the YouTube videos in which I've watched, and I've watched quite a few different videos on the topic, many of the YouTubers out there who are very much in this space pretty much all just say go onto websites like Rarity Tools as an example, take a look at some upcoming projects, find out how many Twitter followers that project has, and perhaps take a look at the Discord channel as well if you want to do that extra bit of solid due diligence. And then I guess make your investment decision based on some kind of vanity metrics which gives you a little bit of an indication of the demand for that project. Regardless, it's still very much an investment philosophy and an investment framework that I'm struggling to get behind. So if anybody can enlighten me down in the comments section below, then please feel free to do so. But in the meantime, whilst I'm trying to find ways still in order to convince myself that investing into NFTs is a good thing, whilst I've been doing my research, I've tried to kind of take a little bit of a look in a little bit more detail at some of the bigger individuals within the NFT space and look at their actions as well as what projects they're supporting too. Gary Vee being one of the bigger influencers in the NFT space, who most recently launched his own project called VeeFriends, which in my opinion is probably one of the smarter applications of NFTs in which I've seen. In essence, you can buy one of Gary Vee's VeeFriends NFTs, like the podcast Panther as an example, and in return you'll get Gary to join your podcast for a 40-minute guest appearance, or perhaps a Hangout Hawk where you can join Gary Vee in an hour-long virtual hangout session, or even a courtside cat where you can sit alongside Gary and watch a Knicks game courtside. It's almost like, I guess, paying for an experience with Gary Vee himself, but instead of paying with cold hard cash, instead you're buying an NFT or investing into an NFT of his in order to get that experience. It allows content creators and big business owners like Gary Vee to continue to serve his community by essentially giving them kind of hands-on access to him via the NFTs in which he's selling. And because these NFTs are smart contracts, well, Gary can still continue to apply, I guess, and add value to the asset itself, and perhaps continue doing different things with the NFTs that people have invested in over the duration of its lifetime. So it's a really interesting concept that I guess gives a little bit more control to content creators out there in order for them to actually decide how they want to best interact with their audience. So it's a pretty smart idea, and I guess you could say revolutionary in some ways, but it's probably more just the fact that you're actually buying and having an NFT in order to mark the occasion. But whilst in one breath, the likes of Gary Vee are super optimistic about NFTs, saying things like that you don't want to miss out on NFTs, and then going on to interview people like Mark Zuckerberg in order to understand more about the metaverse and share that with his audience. But then in the next breath, Gary Vee is going out to all of his Twitter followers saying things like every dollar you spend on NFTs during 2021 are hopefully dollars you can afford to go to zero. This is very early days, thus massive high risk, high reward times, which kind of makes me think a little bit more about the question, is NFT investing actually a good investment or not? In one breath, Gary's kind of saying, well, buy my own VeeFriends NFT and kind of supporting other projects out there. But then the next breath is saying that NFTs are going to go to zero. So kind of what is the answer to the question? Is it a good investment or is it not? I guess these generic statements that Gary's come out and said over the course of the past few months will likely be clipped at some point in the future, and he'll be able to say he told us so, but it's not exactly a refined criteria as to what actually success looks like when investing into NFTs. So in light of that, and after doing a little bit more digging into this space, one of Gary Vee's pals in the NFT and I guess content creator community is an individual called Logan Paul, which I'm sure most, or if not all of you guys have probably come across before, who is also another high profile content creator who is actively kind of, I guess, supporting as well as pushing out NFTs to his audience via Twitter, which kind of got me thinking, a guy like Logan Paul and Gary Vee just on Twitter alone have a combined following of 8.8 million followers. And when you add both Instagram and YouTube subscribers to the mix, well, you're talking a follower base probably in excess of about 30 million people, which certainly is a shit ton of influencing power to get an absolute ton of people to potentially invest into the NFTs in which you want people to invest in. They really do have market making powers simply by the size and the influence in which they have over so many different people. And because of that, if they can market the projects in which they're supporting in the right way, well, they can also make a hell of a lot of money by doing so. So the question that you're probably going to be asking is, well, how much are individuals like Logan Paul actually able to make from simply investing into NFTs and then promoting them to his audience? Well, he's invested in many different projects, and according to his OpenSea account, he has invested into 4,200 different projects, which is certainly far too many to go through individually. So I thought I'd go over to his Twitter and take a look at some of the most high profile NFTs in which he's bought, as well as promoted to his audience as well. So first up, he posted on the 23rd of September to all of his Twitter followers this World of Women NFT, which at the time he was offered a whopping $205,000 for. And then he went on to say that he would never ever let this NFT go from his portfolio. Well, Logan may unfortunately regret not accepting that offer at the time, because just 2 short months later, the current highest bid on that exact NFT in which Logan owns is now just $5,534, the equivalent to 1.24 Ethereum, which, considering Logan paid 55 Ethereum for it just 4 months ago when the price of Ethereum was roughly about $3,000 per coin, that makes his cost basis $165,000, a net loss somewhere in the realms of 97%. Now, unfortunately for Logan, his high-profile NFT investments don't get much better. On August 28th, he tweeted that he dropped 160 Ethereum, which at the time was worth $522,000, on a pure white Grump Genesis Mooncat, one of the first NFTs right after CryptoPunks. He then marked the occasion by saying history equals uptrend emoji. But there wasn't any kind of uptrend in sight after Logan made this investment, because this one was a particularly painful one, losing him an absolute ton of money. The current highest bidder on this historical NFT, which should have gone straight to the moon in terms of its valuation, is now just, wait for it, 1.25 Ethereum, the equivalent to $5,483. And this isn't just an anomaly, because actually the floor price of these Mooncats is just 0.51 Ethereum, which makes them, in the grand scheme of things, or the grand scheme of his investment anyway, pretty much worthless. So unfortunately for Logan, that's another loss of 98.9%, which puts him down just over $500,000 just from one single NFT investment. But would you believe it, guys? It actually gets worse. On August 23rd, he posted that he dropped 188 Ethereum this time, the equivalent to $623,000 on a one-of-one Bumblebee only Force NFT, which in his eyes was probably nothing. And in the eyes of everybody else, well, yes, it was pretty much probably nothing, because the thing is absolutely worthless at the time of recording this video. Right now, the highest offer on this NFT is just 0.55 Ethereum, the the equivalent to just shy of $2,500. A whopping loss of 99.5% of its value, with just a floor price on this whole project of 0.69 Ethereum. So it certainly doesn't look like Logan is going to be anywhere close to recuperating any of the kind of losses in which he's made, nor the 188 Ethereum in which he originally invested. So just on these 3 NFTs alone, his initial investment of roughly $1.3 million is now just worth $13,500. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm certainly not in a position to speculate any kind of huge chunks of money on NFTs that could simply drop 99% in value over the course of a matter of months. Even if Logan had just simply held on to the 403 Ethereum in which he invested into these NFT projects, based on the value of Ethereum today, based on today's current market price as of recording this video of about $4,419, that Ethereum would be worth $1.8 million. He could have literally just made $500,000 simply from sitting on the Ethereum rather than investing into NFTs instead. In my mind, it's just an absolutely insane amount of money to be losing, and perhaps the likes of Gary Vee are right that 99% of all of the projects created in 2021 pretty much have a chance of going to zero at some point in the future. Because at this point, it all just seems so speculative, it's absolutely mind-blowing. Which is why, as of right now, based on all of the research in which I've done up until this point, unless anyone can do a bloody good job of convincing me down in the comment section below, I think for now, I'll probably just stick to the normal stock investing rather than that of investing into any kind of these NFT projects. Because with someone with all of the clout of Logan Paul, who's also an absolute marketing machine, if he can't make a success of the projects in which he's not only investing in, but also promoting to his, 10 or 20 million odd followers, then people like me simply have no chance whatsoever. For me right now, it just feels like too much of a finger in the air, too much uncertainty, too much high risk to invest any of my hard-earned money. For now, on the surface of things anyway, it simply looks like an opportunity for perhaps some quick flips, a buy and a sell, and perhaps look to sell on an NFT once it's been released, hoping that there's additional demand for that project and the value of that project goes up over time. So because of that, I think I'm probably better off just investing into the good old S&P 500 ETF, getting my consistent 10% gains year in, year out as an average annual rate of return. Because I know for a fact gambling and speculating on things like NFTs probably won't work out for me all that great. So with that said, guys, be sure to let me know what your thoughts are on NFTs down in the comment section below. Are you guys investing into them? And if you are you making any kind of money from doing so? And if you did enjoy the video, guys, be sure to smash a like on it. Consider subscribing to the channel as well if you're new around here. And with that being said, I'll see you over in the next video.